Welcome in, Seahawks Today Live. About to begin in just a few short moments from right now. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Thanks for spending your Wednesday evening here on the channel. As we get started today, we're going to allow people to roll in, and as we do, shout out your city. Where are you watching Seahawks Today Live from? We are bringing you today's show from Dallas, Texas, in the Chat Sports Studios, in the Studio C, I believe is the proper term for it. But we are here and so glad to have you here along for the ride with us today. Tell us where you are watching from as we get going. Let us know in the chat where you're at tonight. And joined by the one and only producer Jeremy Chuggs is here with us, who is been, I think, just beloved by Seahawk fans the last couple of weeks. Chuggs, you're fitting right in with the 12th man here.
Yeah, 12s, love them. You know, my older brother, his wife, her whole family's from Washington. And
Really?
they're actually fans of the show. They love the Seattle Seahawks, and kind of by you know, being around them, I've kind of grown. They've grown on me. You know,
Okay.
I didn't grow up a Seahawks fan, but I mean, when you see that line in blue running around the field and that gray line,
Yeah, the
kinda
action
mixture,
green. Yeah.
like, how can you not get jazzed up?
Oh, it's sexy. It is.
Oh yeah.
Seahawks have great colors.
And we have people from everywhere right now: Renton, Washington; Kingston, Washington; Stanwood; my house from Dat Fat Rat. That narrows it down.
Really?
Winkler.
Where do you live?
Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. Have you been to Canada?
I have not. Have you?
No, I really want to try some traditional Canadian poutine.
Okay. If I go to Canada, I want to try the McLobster at McDonald's.
What?
Have you not heard about this?
I've never heard of the McLobster.
So they don't have the here in the States the McLobster, but apparently that's a thing in Canada where it's a McDonald's sandwich.
Oh my gosh, Zeno, what's up, my guy?
Hi, Jeremy. We got, let's see, who else? Dat Fat Rat saying Mr. Chuggs. Ralph checking in from Carson City, Nevada. Not Nevada. No one from Nevada says Nevada. We also have Andrew checking in from Washington.
Very nice.
Brian checking in from Renton. Dat Fat Rat, what the hell is a McLobster? Look it up. It's one of Canada's finest menu items at McDonald's. That's what I would go to.
I just imagine it looks like a McRib, but it's white. Like, that's if you told me a McLobster.
I love the McRib.
Oh, I can't be on board of the McRib. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We also want to know, as we're getting going today, what's your favorite Seahawks player this season? Lots to choose from. It's a rebuilding year, as we've mentioned before, and so who are some of the names? A lot of new faces in Seattle. And moving on from Russell Wilson was a lot of people's favorite player. So
Yeah.
who is your guy now? Who's your favorite player on this Seahawks team? For me, there's a couple names. I love the receiving core. DK Metcalf is phenomenal. Tyler Lockett, as I've noted before, he and I both being from Tulsa. I've always liked Tyler Lockett.
Oklahoma
Those are
brothers.
probably, yeah. Those are probably my two favorites personally, is DK and Tyler Lockett. But let us know in the live chat who your favorite Seahawks player is. Dat Fat Rat says Jordan Brooks is his favorite this year.
New Seahawk. I think I'm taking him in my fantasy leagues. I think he's going to be really good this season, especially when you have shaky quarterback play. You need that safety net over the middle. I think Noah Fant's going to look really good this season.
I've had him on my fantasy team before. He's a sneaky good find.
Yeah.
I like Noah Fant. He'll be fun to watch. Michael, we're getting updates on the McLobster, by the way.
Tapeni Suiyanoa says, the McRib is a gift from the gods. I politely disagree. I think it's a gift from the other side, if you ask me. It's the temptation.
Georgie says McRib is a better quarterback than Geno. Ouch.
Oh, James Smiley from Tyler, Texas. That's just a little bit of ways away from us here in Chat Sports Studios in Dallas.
Yes. Let's see what else we got here. Ralph says Kenneth Walker. Josh says DK. Aaron says Lockett. Let's see what else. We got Ryan Neal, DJ Dallas, Walker, Geno going to surprise you guys, says Benjamin. So,
Oh.
who's going to win the job?
I mean,
Geno Smith.
I guess Benjamin already kind of answered this question. He's going with Geno.
Yeah. I think, and I said this on record a couple days ago, it's going to be Drew Lock that ultimately ends up winning this job. But as we'll talk about on the show today, in this final preseason game, Drew Lock's not going to start. Still going to be Geno Smith. Drew Lock will play the majority of the game, but it still feels like that Drew Lock's kind of playing behind the eight ball to win this starting quarterback job. Let us know in the comments section. Type DL for Drew Lock, GS for Geno Smith.
It's one of those things where it's just the classic Drew Lock, very low floor, but a higher ceiling than Geno. Geno, a higher floor, but a low ceiling.
Right. I think, okay, if you said, I need 400 yards and 4 touchdowns to win a game, Drew Lock's more likely to do that. But if you said, I need a game manager to just get us through and not turn the ball over, Geno Smith's your guy.
I think if you also ask who's more likely to get 3 interceptions in a game, I think Drew Lock is also more likely to do that.
I think so. Let's see. What else we got in the chat? People are saying between the two, cool-ass dude man says Drew Lock. Michael says Drew Lock. Brian, Drew Lock. Benjamin says Geno, top 5 in Pro Football Focus.
People still going with the pipe dream of Jimmy G.
Jimmy G? Ooh.
See,
a little late on Jimmy G. He would still have to – you're not going to trade for him because you're not paying him $26 million. And if he gets cut, then he's going to have a short window to try to learn that playbook.
Yeah.
Penny Hart at quarterback?
I don't know, Jim.
Richie saying Jimmy, give me all you give me. Let's see. Also, Craig says Drew Lock. Dude man saying Geno has put up 10 points in 5 quarters of play. He does not need to be anywhere near the starting job. You might have a point there. Yep. Scotty says Drew Lock with 10 wins. Mark Sanchez is in the chat and says me. Come back from Mark Sanchez?
Mark Sanchez? I don't know. Broadway Mark?
Okay. He's a little busy working NFL on Fox. But
yeah.
We'll see. Who are you most excited to watch against the Cowboys? Game on Friday. We're going to do a watch party. More on that later. But what intrigues you? For me, there's a few different things. Not only this quarterback competition, but I'm excited to finally see Dee Eskridge for the very first time.
Yes.
We did not see him much last year. Was on IR and dealt with that concussion. Only had 10 catches in the games that he did play. But for me, I want to see him be out there and get some real opportunities. For me, he's the guy I'm watching for. I want to. It feels like it's, something that has a lot of potential, but you just haven't seen any of it at this point.
I'm really excited to see your guy Boye Mafe.
Yes,
he kind of flashed in the Steelers game. He was in the middle, like he didn't really jump off the page for me, at least against the Bears.
Right.
I want to see if he can get a sack this game because with edge rushers, that's one of those positions that's coming up in the NFL. If you have a good to elite edge rusher, that brings your defense from right here to right here.
We will start the show in a few moments, but we got to get to 50 likes to get there. We're at 21 right now, so folks, hit that like button. Let's get to 50, and we'll get started in just a moment.
Just go there and tickle the like button.
Just give
it a little tickle. Just give it a hint right there. Hit the like button like that. You know what to do. You know what to do. Get down there.
The chat looks like it's still obsessed with Mark Sanchez.
Get down there and get dirty with the like button.
Get dirty with it.
Just do it.
Hit that like button. We're starting out on the uptick here. We'll get to 50, and then we'll get started with the show in just a few moments.
Also, I have another question for the peoples.
Okay. What will you remember most about Shaquem Griffin? We'll talk about him in just a second. He officially retired from the NFL today, and Shaquem Griffin, for me, it's the story, right?
Yeah.
The fact that he could play without a hand for as long as he did. It was a 4-year career, and go through college and the undefeated season at UCF and all that. That's an amazing achievement. And I think of, if you want to talk specific memories, remember the NFL Combine when he
was
benched
just about to say
20 reps? That was unreal.
I was just about to say, do you remember when he wasn't even invited to the NFL Combine whenever
Yes.
it first was announced?
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of funny because, the Seahawks drafted 2 Combine stars, as you will, with DK Metcalf and then with Shaquem Griffin.
Right.
So,
yeah.
let's see.
That was really cool. What are we saying in the chat? That Fat Rat says the brother sack versus Green Bay. That was cool. James says give the like button a butt fumble.
Oh, yeah. Do it.
Once we get to 50, we'll officially get started.
I dare you. I triple dog dare you.
David says the Griffin brother sack was iconic. Yeah. Big Huss says get them to 50 likes. You heard the man. Do it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Zach says, I want to see Justin Coleman do something about the Cowgirls. Michael says, what's up, guys? How we doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing, Chugs?
I'm feeling sensational.
Sensational.
As my guy Future would say.
Future.
Sensational.
Oh, we could get bumping with some Future around here. You tell me. How concerned are you guys about the Seahawks running backs right now? Because, here's what we mean by this. You have Rashad Penny went through his thing. Looks like that they're just sitting him out, but he appears to be okay, but does have injury history. Kenneth Walker, we'll have more on that later. Pete Carroll says there's no real timetable according to doctors in his return. They hope to have him for week 1, but that's not a given. And then everything else from there. Concern level for me, it's not high because I like what I've seen from DJ Dallas and also what we've seen from Travis Homer in these preseason games. If I hadn't seen those guys play like they did in these last 2 preseason games, this would be way up there. But the fact those guys have answered the call, my concern level might be a 2 or 3. At this point.
With their performances, along with Kenneth Walker and what he can be, I think that makes Rashad Penny somewhat expendable, don't you?
Potentially speaking. I know that Bleacher Report this week had a feature on why the Seahawks should cut Rashad Penny. I thought that was a bit of a stretch.
I wouldn't cut him, but I would also say he doesn't need to be your feature back this year. I think it's a huge back by committee kind of season.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Dallas can be a third down back. Kenneth Walker, once he gets back out there, is going to be great. Just rotate those guys and see what you got. We are 7 likes away from starting the show. Remember, we will do a mailbag later on. You may be asking, how do I get involved in the mailbag? It's pretty simple. Use the hashtag Seahawks in the live chat. That way, Producer Chugs, when he's getting his graphics and all that, he can sort through the questions a lot easier. Just makes his job easier if you use hashtag Seahawks. Or you can super chat, and if the super chats are going, you know how things go around here. You give us enough money, we'll do some.
We might have to break out some shots. I don't know. Maybe we have a beer boot. We haven't. I mean, unless you've watched our live watch parties for the past 2 games, you haven't seen the beer boot on Seahawks Live.
Right. So maybe the beer boot comes out today.
Just saying. But get those questions in. You can use hashtag Seahawks in your comments. Or, like Tyler said, you can super chat to get on our mailbag, our world-famous Seahawks mailbag. Just ask us anything. Ask us anything NFL, NFL, Seahawks-related, anything you got going on. I mean, we're ready to answer it for you.
We have reached the 50-like threshold,
Ow!
so we will go ahead and officially get started with another award-winning edition of Seahawks Today. Live right here on the channel. Myself,
Emmy?
Producer Chugs.
What did it win? An Emmy, a Tony? What did?
We won all the awards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, who's ready? Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Coming up here on Seahawks Today Live, the latest Seahawks news and rumors on your favorite team. Also, we'll do a live Q&A mailbag. Use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get involved in the show. And then later on, we'll preview the Seahawks' final preseason game against the Dallas Cowboys. Producer Chug's going to take my water because we got to get that off screen. So that is what's coming up on today's show. Without further ado, let's get started with Seahawks Today Live. Out of the gates and on the air. Welcome into another edition of Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors as we'll get you an update on the Seahawks quarterback battle. Also, a former Seahawk has officially retired from the National Football League. We'll tell you who that is in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, we appreciate that you guys helped us get to 28,000 subscribers on the channel. But this week, we take on a new battle this week. We go up against the Cowboys report. Tom Downey, friend of the show, is our frenemy this week as we are battling them in new subscribers. We have 288 new subscribers this week. They have 404 new subscribers this week. Can't let that happen. Got to beat Cowboys report in subs this week. Subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on notifications as well so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today. Geno Smith has been told by Pete Carroll that he will start Friday against the Dallas Cowboys. That's what Pete Carroll said earlier today on Seattle Sports Radio 710. But according to Pete Carroll, we will see Drew Lock play a lot. Now, one of the things that Pete Carroll went on to say was he feels like that they have two number ones at quarterback. As the saying goes, if you have two starting quarterbacks, you have no starting quarterback. So with that, as things stand right now, in the quarterback situation with Geno Smith starting, Drew Lock going to play most of that game, we don't really have any definite answers yet. This is still the waiting game that we're all just trying to figure out where this thing goes from here. I think that Friday night is going to be crucially important, but at the flip side too, even with as important as Friday is, I still feel like this hasn't necessarily been a fair competition. We've seen throughout this whole ordeal that Geno Smith has gotten the vast majority of the first-team reps, and even Friday night on a game that Drew Lock is going to play the majority of, first game back from COVID, it's still Geno Smith that starts with the first-team offense. So, with that, who wins the job? Is it Drew Lock? Is it Geno Smith? It's our pinned comment today. And I want to know from you guys, how does this play out? It seems like everything is set up for Geno Smith here. Does he capitalize and get the job done, or will Drew Lock go lights out against the Dallas Cowboys and win this job? Let me know. Type DL for Drew Lock. Type GS for Geno Smith. Who wins the job for the Dallas Cowboys, for the Seahawks? So, we've heard from Pete Carroll. He says that there is no deadline to name a starter. And this is a change, of course, from even before Drew Lock had COVID. The idea was that they wanted to have their starter figured out after that final preseason game. And so here's something to think about. The important dates to know for the Seahawks. There's 16 days and at least 9 practices from the date you see first on your screen, August 26th on a Friday, compared to the season opener on September 12th. So there's still a lot of time in between. The roster is going to get cut down on Monday, August 29th from 80 to 53. And then from there, we'll see how long they take to name an official starter. But even with the preseason wrapping up, there's still a lot of time to go. Now, the national media has weighed in on the quarterback situation with the Seahawks. Adam Shine of CBS Sports had some not-so-kind words to say about the situation. A bit of a hot take, saying this is the most embarrassing, saddest, pathetic quarterback competition of all time between Drew Lock and Geno Smith. The Seahawks are a disaster, and this is where hope goes to die. Look, Adam is obviously wrong here. There is a plan for the Seahawks in place. You have to dig a little bit to see it, but Pete Carroll, John Schneider and company, they know what they're doing here. Look, here's what the rebuild formula is. This is what the Seahawks are going through. You don't have to go very far back to last year's draft. And a reminder, there was no elite quarterbacks in the draft, right? The Seahawks had the number 9 pick, but there was not an obvious answer. You weren't going to use that on Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis. And so the Seahawks did what they did, retooling the offensive line with Charles Cross, bringing in Abraham Lucas. We know the offensive line needed work. And here's where the Seahawks were smart about this. Look, when it comes to on the field, beyond the quarterback position, the offensive tackle spot, left tackle in particular, is the second most important position on the field. They did that with Cross, and they got younger everywhere. Sure, it wasn't easy saying goodbye to Bobby Wagner and some of your favorite Seattle Seahawks stars. But what they did when it comes to this rebuild, they got younger everywhere. They established that foundation, 9 picks in this year's draft to get younger and build for their future beyond this year. And then, yes, you didn't find a quarterback in this year's draft. But now it's a situation where you got to see what you have in Drew Lock and in Geno Smith, right? Where are you at with both these guys at this point in 2022? This is a situation with both guys where at the end of the day, the long run, it doesn't hurt you here. Neither one of them are costing you a whole lot. Drew Lock was a guy that we heard from Pete Carroll that he said, look, he's somebody that we believe in better than any of these quarterbacks in last year's draft. Sure, I would have liked to see maybe Baker Mayfield come along of maybe a move like that, but ultimately they did what they felt that was best for them financially. It's not going to cost them a whole lot, and it positions themselves to draft a quarterback in 2023. And I think it's going to be an early round quarterback in that first round with one of those first picks that Seattle has, and this is what they'll do going forward. They've retooled the offensive line. They've gotten younger everywhere. They're going to see what they have in Smith and Locke, and then they'll draft a quarterback next year and go from there. That's the plan that Pete Carroll and John Schneider have put in place. Will it work? That remains to be seen. But I got to tell you, I trust the plan personally. What say you? Do you trust the plan that's been put in place by Pete Carroll and John Schneider to rebuild this franchise and to move forward from here? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type in for no, if you trust in the plan that Pete Carroll and John Schneider have put in place. Y for yes, in for no, if you trust that plan going forward. Today's show is brought to you by BetUS. And BetUS, folks, is offering a great deal for Seahawks Today viewers. If you use the promo code Seahawks125 at checkout, they are going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. So you may be asking, well, Tyler, what does that mean? Well, what that means, folks, is that if you put $100 down, they're going to give you $125 to spend for free. It's a great deal available now to viewers of Seahawks Today with the promo code Seahawks125. Go to chatsports.com/bet to play now. That's chatsports.com/bet for your 125% deposit bonus with promo code Seahawks125. Former Seahawk Shaquem Griffin officially announced his retirement from the National Football League today. And one of the better stories I felt in all of the NFL the last several years was Shaquem Griffin making it to the NFL. Griffin had his leg amputated at age 4, his arm, and he dealt with a condition, became the first player with one hand to be drafted in the NFL's modern era with the Seattle Seahawks when they chose him in the 5th round in 2018. It reunited him with his twin brother Shaquille, and then the Seahawks, at the time, their starting left corner. You go back to what he did, drafted in 2018, the 5th round, played for the Seahawks from 2018 to 2020. The numbers weren't anything fantastic, 25 tackles, 1 sack in his NFL career, but the story to get there for his, with all the obstacles in front of him, to have the career he did was outstanding. It was a great story, and to play alongside his brother. We'll tell you what Shaquem Griffin had to say on his retirement in just one moment. Before we do, I want to make sure you are subscribed to Seahawks Today. We're doing watch parties, live shows, breaking news, and more right here on the channel each and every day. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment. It's youtube.com/Seahawks TV. And coming up on Friday night, 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific, We'll do a live watch party for the Seahawks matchup against the Dallas Cowboys right here on the channel on Seahawks Today. You will not want to miss it. We'll be having a few cold ones, and myself, Marshall Green's going to be with me. It is going to be a can't-miss moment, folks. We'll do pregame about 15 minutes before kickoff. Game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. Have postgame reaction, react to your mailbag questions as well. Be there or be square. It's the Seahawks Today watch party beginning at 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific this Friday here on Seahawks Today. I love Shaquem's story. I mean, there will never be anything like the story of Shaquem Griffin. I mean, I think of back to the 2018 NFL Draft Combine after his undefeated season at UCF when they won the Peach Bowl and, they declared themselves national champions and all that, and he put the 20 reps in at the Combine. I mean, unheard of. Unbelievable. Here's what Griffin told the Players Tribune. There's this thing we used to always say in Seattle. Be where your feet are. It basically means to stay in the present and control what you can control. And after talking with my brother, I realize it doesn't matter what people think about me at all. The only thing that matters is how I respond to yet another obstacle in what I choose to do. I choose to work. I worked out for the Cardinals, the Titans, and the Jets, and then I got calls from Buffalo, Dallas, and Atlanta. But after that Jets workout, I realized something. All this traveling around and working out for teams, trying to catch on somewhere, trying to hang on, it wasn't what I wanted. Football has already given me so much, and the only thing I really wanted from the game was to play with my brother again. So what a story there, Shaquem Griffin, from all that he went through, and also to play alongside his brother there, not only at UCF, but in Seattle as well. A great story. So with that, thank you for the memories, Shaquem Griffin. What are some of the things that you'll remember most about Shaquem Griffin and his NFL career? Let me know in the comment section what comes to mind when you think of Shaquem Griffin. One more note before we go. The Seahawks have signed rookie undrafted free agent Ronnie Rivers. They've also placed linebacker John Radigan on the PUP list for now, and Rivers comes over from the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll keep tabs on that to see where he ends up when it comes to possibly making this Seahawks roster, the 53-man roster. Appreciate you joining us here on Seahawks Today. As always, follow me on social media, facebook.com/Tyler Jones Live. I'm also available on Twitter and Instagram, at Tyler Jones Live on Twitter, Instagram, Tyler Jones Live. Easiest way to follow me there. Interact with me, DMs, everything in between. Certainly have a lot of fun there on social media. Follow me, and I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today. All right, so the next question I have for you guys. Is Pluto a planet? Today is the anniversary of when Pluto was demoted, when it lost its status as a planet. It was a big campaign put on by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he decided that Pluto did not deserve to be called a planet, that it did not fit that definition. So I'm going to bring back in Jeremy Chuggs. I'm sure he's got some thoughts on this. Jeremy, before I tell you how I feel, I want to hear from you directly. Is Pluto a planet, yes or no?
Pluto is 100% a planet. It's a dwarf planet. It's a smaller planet, but it is still a planet. And you can't mess up what you've been teaching us for however many years throughout school. It's not fair to the older generation. Everybody that was just taught throughout school Pluto is a planet, and then for them to just be like, oh, you know what? Never mind, it's not. That's like if your math teacher came in one day and was like, hey, we actually changed stuff up. 2 + 2 = 5 now. Just letting you know that. We just decided 2 + 2 shouldn't equal 4. It's actually 5. Just letting you know. That's not fair. That's not fair to all of us who have already gone through the process of learning about Pluto as a planet, and it's just unfair.
I am going to disagree. I don't think Pluto's a planet. It didn't fit the definition. It didn't fit the criteria.
Absolute
it's not a
commie.
Planet. It is a dwarf planet, but dwarf planets are not planets. Sorry.
Wow.
Pluto, no, you're not a planet. You are not worthy of being called a planet.
What do you have against dwarf planets? Just because they're smaller, they're not real planets? Wow, Tyler. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, Pluto. You're out of here. I mean,
that's messed up, man.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's messed up.
There's a lot of smart people in Seattle, a lot of tech whizzes and all that. And so far, what I'm seeing in the chat, most people agree with me. Pluto is not a planet. In fact, got a comment here that says Pluto isn't a planet with a moon, but Mercury is a planet with no moon. Makes no sense.
Exactly. And hey, it's not about the size of the planet, it's how you use it. So just remember that, people.
The club says Geno is a dwarf planet. Pluto, not a planet. I am going to die on that hill that Pluto is not a planet. Let us know. Let's see what more is going on in the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Is Pluto a planet? Brendan, also I'm seeing you with a DK Metcalf question. Use the hashtag Seahawks if you want to get that on the show or super chat us. We'll get to the mailbag segment. That's coming up later on in just a moment. Also, on Twitter, I'm on Twitter at Tyler Jones Live. The first 10 people that follow me on Twitter right now, I got my iPhone out right now. The first 10 people to follow me, I will follow back.
I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for everybody so you know where to go. Oh, Matthew, you got it. Matthew, if you're listening, put his link in the chat. We have a new guy named Matthew, intern Matthew. He's got it.
Intern employee Matthew.
He's got to earn that. Can he put it in? I haven't seen it in the chat yet.
Ray says Pluto is a dwarf planet and rocks are still smashing it into it, so it's forming there. For it is not a planet. There we go. See, not a planet. All right. Twitter follows. Whoever follows me right now, first 10 people will get a follow back. So,
nice little follow back.
Let's see who's going to join the circus of me on Twitter each day. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get the clock. Let's get the clock started. Here we go. 3. Everyone that follows me these next 10 minutes. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. What did I say? 1 minute. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. I can't even keep
There
up
we go.
Here we go. Timer starts now. All right.
While that's going, make sure get your questions in using hashtag Seahawks in the comments. I actually saw a couple people asking questions like Brandon Marbury. What is DK Metcalf's fantasy value with Geno throwing to him? Great question. You got to use hashtag Seahawks so I can find it and put it up on the show, Brandon. Just go ahead and ask it again. In your comment, put hashtag Seahawks because that makes it where it's easier for me to find it.
Right. You're going to make his job a lot easier.
Zeno says he already follows you.
He does.
He's a real one.
He is. Get follows from Josh, Brent, John, Troy, Snyder. Let's see. Who else?
A little follow back action.
Clock is still going. Got about 15 more seconds.
Oh, that's perfect, Brandon. Thank you, man.
Ralph says you bomb, Tyler. Am I a planet?
Oh. I don't know how many moons you have.
Oh, I can moon you right now. No, I will not do that. All right. Let's see. What else? Get your questions in, folks. Hashtag Seahawks. And you can also super chat. You will be first in line to get your mailbag questions in, whatever you guys have for us. Use hashtag Seahawks or super chat to get on our mailbag show today. Let's see. What else we got going on here? I see that Fat Rat says, bro, Pluto, a dog. That's also true. Mickey Mouse's dog, exactly, yes. Okay, and let's go ahead and get to the mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or super chat if you want to get a question on the show, and we will go ahead and get started with our mailbag now. It is mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. You have questions. I have answers. And without further ado, we will go ahead and get started with another mailbag this week here on the channel. And our first question in the mailbag this week comes from Brandon. Brandon wants to know, hashtag Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. What is DK Metcalf's fantasy value with Wilson gone? So That's a very interesting question there, Brandon, because a lot of people have wondered the same thing. Can DK Metcalf, and the same can be applied to Tyler Lockett as well, does their value go down with not having Russell Wilson there? And here's what I'll point to. What the numbers say. When DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett played last year, when Russell Wilson was out and Geno Smith filled in, their numbers did not drop off at all. It was almost identical, comparatively speaking, when Russell Wilson was out there. And here's another way to simplify this, folks. Think about it this way, okay? If you are a Seahawk fan, fantasy lover, or whatever, and you're trying to figure out just how this is going to work out, let me put it to you this way, okay? If I'm a new quarterback, if I'm Geno Smith or I'm Drew Lock, and in particular with DK Metcalf, and I'm trying to find some comfortability with the offense, what am I going to do? Oh, yeah, I'm going to throw the football to the 6'3", 6'4" receiver. To me, that would make the most sense. That's what I would do, at least, anyway. So I would expect that whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith, either one is going to depend on DK Metcalf to an extent. So thanks for the question there, Brendan. Next one comes from Ray. Ray wants to know, #Seahawks, what players on the Seahawks have the risk of losing their job? For example, if Charles Cross has a really bad game, will he get benched? Charles Cross is not getting benched. Charles Cross, here's one thing to think about, too, when we talk about the rebuild process that the Seahawks are going through. Part of it is that you have to learn on the fly, right? That you have to learn as this thing is going along. And for Charles Cross, we saw that first preseason game. 5 penalties he got called for. Now, if that happens in a regular season game, they might pull him aside and try to get his attention, but he's not going to be out for long. There's certain guys that expectations are lower than others. Rookies, there's going to be a learning curve for Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, guys like that. But for the running back position, if Rashad Penny's not getting it done, I don't think they hesitate putting in Kenneth Walker III in there. It really is just situational. There's no defined thing that says all these guys have to play a certain way in order to keep their jobs. It's different for different guys. Like Cody Barton, for example. Cody Barton is somebody that the Seahawks need to play really well. And if he plays like he did in the preseason and the regular season, I don't think his leash is very long, that he gets pulled out pretty quick. So something to think about there. Different for every player, but good question there, Ray. Tyson wants to know, could Seattle grab Tyler Huntley? Tyler Huntley has looked like the best backup quarterback in the entire preseason in the NFL. He has been that good. I believe he only has like 3 incompletions in the 2 preseason games for the Ravens. But unless Seattle just offers the moon for Tyler Huntley, I don't think the Ravens are going to be trading him and moving on from Tyler Huntley. He's got a team-friendly contract, and if you're the Ravens, it has to be an offer you refuse. And because of the way Lamar Jackson plays, Tyler Huntley provides a safety net there. If something were to happen to Lamar, they have a dependable backup that they believe can still take them to the playoffs and play well there on that front. So for Tyler Huntley, I like Tyler Huntley a lot. He's as good as any backup out there, but I just don't see this being a marriage that happens right now. I don't see Seattle going out there and bringing in Huntley, and I don't see the Ravens moving on from Huntley either. But thanks for the question, Tyson. Rick wants to know, what do you expect out of Drew Lock on Friday? #Seahawks. What I expect out of Drew Lock, I think that if you're Drew Lock, as far as what I expect, this is kind of what I want to see. I want to see him be aggressive, right? The advantage that he has, comparably speaking to Geno Smith, is that the ceiling is higher, that there's more chances to move the football. If either quarterback, if you told me was going to have a 400-yard game and I had to put my money on it, my money is more likely on Drew Lock than it is Geno Smith. And so for me, that's what I would want to see, is Drew Lock show that he's capable of being that guy that, hey, he's not here to be a game manager, that he's here to be the better outright quarterback to try to win you games. Not be afraid. Play fearless out there. That's what I want to see from Drew Lock, is play without fear. Thanks for the question, Rick. Madden, scale this. 1 through 99. No 100s here. There's no 100s in Madden. Everybody knows that. 1 through 99, what overall would you give Drew Lock? We're going to let you be the Madden simulator here. If you had to put the rating on Drew Lock, what would it be? Scale it 1 through 99 and let me know in the comments, either way, how you would scale this for Drew Lock, what you would rate him. Next question, Zeno wants to know, would you rather have Lock, Smith, or Jimmy G, but you have to trade for him? See, that's the interesting one here with Jimmy G. Jimmy G is the better of the three quarterbacks, but I'm not trading for Jimmy G and giving up $26 million and in the process also making my rival, the San Francisco 49ers, better in the process. None of that just adds up and makes any sense there. So I guess Drew Lock would be my guy of the circumstances, but all things considered, if I didn't have to trade for Jimmy G, if he was just a free agent and cost, $10 or $11 million, don't have to give up anything for him, then I'm going with Jimmy G. So my hierarchy there, if all things were equal, Jimmy G, Drew Lock, Geno Smith. But in this circumstance, you've given it to me, I go Drew Lock, Geno Smith, Jimmy G. So thanks for the question. King Seahawks says, #Seahawks. Tyler, would you want the Seahawks to bring back their throwback jerseys or unveil a blackout uniform and helmet? I love the old AFC jerseys that they wore in the days before they were playing in their current home in Lumen Field. Back in the day when we saw what they were wearing of that AFC style and the lighter colors, that was a good scheme. I would love to see that brought back. A blackout uniform, I feel like that's been done. I mean, every college team in America, it seems like, is trying to be cool and have some blackout game. Like Boise State or Oregon or Cincinnati or all these schools. I've seen that done before. It doesn't make you unique if you have a blackout game. What makes you unique is the Seahawks classic uniforms. Those would be unique to see those brought back. So, yes, that's what I'd much rather see. Not opposed to a blackout game, but it's not my preference, not my priority. I would want to see the throwback uniforms brought back. Seattle Stand Up says, what's your level of concern with the Seahawks running back? So let's kind of, set up the scene for you in this situation for the Seahawks right now. You have Rashad Penny coming back from the injury he suffered after the first preseason game, but it looks like he's fine. They're kind of just holding him out. And then you also have for the Seahawks Kenneth Walker now with his new injury that he's dealing with. And we don't know the timetable of his return, how long that will be as far as he's concerned. Doctors have told Pete Carroll that they don't have a timeline for things right now. Pete Carroll is hopeful he's back week 1. But, I'm hopeful that, I end up on a cruise in Maui someday too. What is hope, right? So, with that said, my level of concern isn't high because of what we've seen from DJ Dallas and Travis Homer. Those guys have played so well in the preseason, in particular DJ Dallas, that you don't have to rush things back with Kenneth Walker III. That when you feel like that Rashad Penny is 100%, that he's ready and he's fully to go, that things are fine there. So my level of concern, not very high, but it could be worse. I would feel different if I hadn't seen what I saw in the first 2 preseason games from Travis Homer and from DJ Dallas. But thanks for the question. Subscribe to Seahawks Today, our live watch party coming up on Friday night for the matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get started about 15 minutes before kickoff. 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific, right here on Seahawks Today. We'll do a little pregame show, then react to the game in real time, and have a few cold ones too. You will not want to miss out on that. And then afterwards, we'll do our live postgame show. And I got to tell you, it is a good time. Everyone has a laugh or two and enjoys some good drinks with us. It is can't miss, folks. You got to be here. It's the best way to watch your Seahawks play is right here on Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Join us Friday night, 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific. Another question coming in from Dude Man. How big of an acquisition would Roquan Smith be? How much higher would this defensive ceiling be with him in the middle of the field? He would be a big add, but the Bears already worked out a deal. They ended the situation, the contract dispute, the trade requests by giving him a new deal. So I think things are fine there. It's one of those situations where, in theory, yeah, Roquan Smith would be nice, especially if he doesn't cost you too much. If you don't have to give up a first-round pick, that'd be great. But in actuality, I don't see Chicago moving on from him now that he's gotten that contract and that money he wants. So thanks for the question, but just don't see it as realistic. Nick checking in with hashtag Papa Seahawk. Fly! Can Drew Lock get something with the offense? We saw a lot of positives from that first preseason game against Pittsburgh. And as we've mentioned, I think that his ceiling, with what he's capable of to move this offense, is higher than Geno Smith's is. I'm just concerned about the turnovers. Can he take care of the football? I don't think moving the ball is the issue. It's protecting it with Drew Lock. So could he get something going? Potentially, but that remains to be seen. But let's see what he can do Friday night. If he can air it out, if he can have himself a day, then watch out. Who knows what happens there? But let's see him unleash. I want to see him unload a bit as far as I'm concerned. I want to know, who are you most excited to watch against the Cowboys? Give me one name that comes to mind. A certain player that you're excited to see for this team. Let me know in the comments one name that comes to mind who you're excited to see for the Seahawks against the Cowboys. There's a lot of names. You know, for me, it's Dee Eskridge. Finally, we haven't seen him a whole lot since he entered the NFL and since he missed these first couple of preseason games. To me, he's the one out of, for me, it's the intrigue of the unknown, how well he's going to play. But who is it for you? Let me know. Got a great deal that we're offering Seahawk fans here on Seahawks Today. DK Metcalf jerseys are on sale now at chatsports.com/DK jersey. You can get yours in the neon green, or if you want to wear the traditional home or away colors, either way possible. We have these on sale for you at chatsports.com/DK Metcalf. Look, we know DK Metcalf's going to be in Seattle the next couple of years. You need to move on from your Russell Wilson jersey anyway. Get yourself a DK Metcalf jersey now at chatsports.com/DK jersey. Order yours now, and it'll get there in time for football season. So what are you waiting for? chatsports.com/DK jersey. Next question comes from Jack. Jack wants to know, could you see the Seahawks having a two-quarterback system this season where they switch off depending how they play? No. There's no two-quarterback system. That never works. That never happens in the NFL. The only thing that I've seen a two-quarterback system of any sorts in today's NFL is Kansas City does a thing where they allow Blake Bell, their backup tight end, to come in and run a Wildcat package, the Belldozer. And the Wildcat, as a whole, really kind of fell away by the wayside. And that's really the only way you do two quarterback systems. And they're not even real quarterbacks, traditionally speaking. So with that said, no two quarterback system. That's not happening. It'll be one guy or the other, whether it's Locke or Geno Smith. And then if something happens or if they're struggling, then they switch things out and they try something different. But no, there will never be a two quarterback system. Absolutely not. Next question coming in from A. A wants to know, who has been a breakout player in the preseason for the Seahawks? A breakout player for the Seahawks this preseason for me is Boye Mafe. He has been dynamic. And we talk so much about the other rookies, like what Kobe Bryant and what Tariq Woolen were doing in training camp and in OTAs. And then we talked, of course, about Kenneth Walker III and many other guys, with this Seahawk team. But for him to kind of go from being forgotten about and to step up the way that he did, especially in that game against the Steelers, with the plays that he was making, with the pressure that he was getting on the quarterback. To me, that's what I'm excited for is Boye Mafe, because of the rookies too. When you look at Lucas and Cross, those guys are expected to be starters. Boye Mafe started with his back against the wall as a backup, and he very, very well may, halfway through the season, already be a starter potentially. So for me, he's a breakout player. I love what I've seen from Boye Mafe. We have a super chat. Right to the line, Tom Downey's creepy smile goes. Tom, creepy smile? I could see that. Tom's creepy smile wants to know, Kyle Fuller making the team as a swing inside offensive lineman. Thoughts? It was a 7th-round pick for the Texans and playing center. He kind of gets manhandled at times. I don't know about that one. Personally, as far as Kyle Fuller goes, about the idea of him potentially making the team, because you look at the Seahawks, even though they're retooling their offensive line and rebuilding there, this is a group that I think has their team established. The only thing that I see potentially changing for the Seahawks is if Gabe Jackson doesn't win his starting job and says, get me out of here. If I'm not going to start, I don't want to be here. That's the only thing I see changing. I don't see them, dealing with Kyle Fuller potentially. But nonetheless, it's a good question. Tom Downey's creepy smile, thanks for the super chat. I think we owe you a drink for that one. So before we wrap up here, follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. Tyler Jones Live is where you can find me there. Also on Facebook as well, interacting with you guys all the time on those social media platforms. Okay, so with that, the $10, I'll do a shot for Tom Downey's creepy smile. Jeremy's going to go bring it, and we'll get some shout-outs. So this will be the first ever super chat in shot. We got a toast to it here on the live show since it happened. And that's how that goes around here. If you super chat us, we're going to take a drink. I mean, got to give me at least $5. But if you do that, then we'll take a drink. And so with that, Tom Downey's creepy smile, we'll have a shot for you in your honor. So today is National Waffle Day. Yes, that is a thing. National Waffle Day, believe it or not. I love me some waffles. What's the best breakfast spot? Let me know what the best breakfast spot is. For me, there's a lot of options, but I love going to a place called the Big Biscuit. And the Big Biscuit started in Kansas City. Now they're franchising everywhere. And the Big Biscuit is going to have all of your good stuff. Like, for me, I'm an omelet guy. That's what I would go with. Okay. We're going to go with Jack Daniels because Fireball is not available to us. That's fine. Thank you, Jeremy. And I'll continue to talk about waffles while I get the Jack Daniels out. So, Big Biscuit's my personal favorite. Occasionally, I do get a little bougie when it comes to breakfast. And I go to, what's that? Gosh, it's escaping me now. It's a chain. You know it, Jeremy. Chain breakfast spots. They're all over, kind of a bougie vibe to it.
First Watch?
First Watch, yes.
There we go.
Occasionally, thank you, Jeremy. Occasionally, I go to First Watch.
Ooh, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. That sounds good.
Chicken waffles sounds good. I do occasionally go to First Watch. It does feel like a little much for being breakfast food. IHOP feels a little too basic, though. That's where my middle ground is, like the Big Biscuit.
Yeah.
Where do you go for breakfast, Jeremy?
So, I like this place around here called the Original Pancake House.
Okay.
It's like a local chain here in Texas. But the real question is, what's your go-to order when you go to a breakfast spot? Because I usually don't get waffles.
Yeah, I love the Waffle House, too, by the way. You can never go wrong with the Waffle House. It's perfect at like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's the best time to go after you've had a good night. Let's just put it that way. The Waffle House has never failed me, ever, and especially at that time.
Oh, another super.
Another from Kyle here. I said $5 I'd take a drink. So here is 2 shots coming. First one to Tom Downey, creepy smile. I don't think I could do a creepy smile like Tom Downey. He likes everyone to tickle that like button, but here's one for that.
Ooh, what are German pancakes?
Jack Daniels here, folks. Skylar says, what's the Seattle versus Denver score?
You know what?
Drink up.
Tech Palma 93. I think German pancakes, Dutch baby pancakes. I've had that before. Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
So the best way to have waffles, by the way, and then I'll answer this question, is Belgian waffles. Put some strawberries, maybe some blueberries, some whipped cream on it, and you're in hog heaven right there. That's the best way to have it.
Cool ass dude, man. I like to get a nice country fried steak with 2 over easy eggs, hash browns, and a nice English muffin. Oh, that sounds delicious. Whenever I go to a breakfast spot, I usually get whatever the, breakfast is, where it comes with like sausage, bacon, eggs, hash browns, and I usually go pancakes.
Yeah.
Best pancakes, banana nut pancakes.
Okay. I love, I'm a waffle guy over pancakes. Pancakes are still solid. And I don't put a lot of syrup on mine. I keep it pretty simple when it comes to syrup on the pancakes. But for me, like the Mount Rushmore of breakfast foods, waffles, omelets, pancakes, biscuits, and gravy.
Oh, okay. If you left biscuits and gravy off, that's a big no.
What's on your Mount Rushmore breakfast food?
Mount
Rushmore. This shot for Kyler.
My top 4 Mount Rushmore of breakfast food. 1 has to be breakfast tacos.
Okay.
You missed out on that one. Big miss.
I'm more of a lunch tacos
guy. No, breakfast tacos elite. Second, I'd have to say it's called different everywhere. It's one of my go-tos, so easy to make.
Oh, I did leave one out. I'll let you finish though.
I call it an egg in a basket. But
never heard of this.
You get a piece of bread, you cut out a hole in the middle, you butter the bread, you put it on a pan, and you crack an egg in the middle.
Okay.
And you cook it, and then you flip it over. So basically, it's like an egg in the middle of a piece of toast. Really good.
Okay.
Number 3, I'd have to say, just some classic pancakes.
Fair.
I like banana nut pancakes, but like just bananas on top, chocolate chips, some good pancakes. And then you can never go wrong with sausage and bacon.
Yeah.
Like sausage and bacon, anything, put it in my mouth.
So another one for me, that the one that I missed, that I think we make room for in Mount Rushmore, is a breakfast burrito.
A breakfast taco, that's the same thing.
Is it though?
It's just bigger.
Size matters, okay? I love a good breakfast burrito. Gonna give me that bacon, the sausage, the egg, the cheese, sour cream, guac, salsa. You're good there.
Hash browns with sausage gravy. That sounds bomb.
I said for every $5 today would be a super chat. So this is another one for Tom since he gave 10.
For every $5 it would be a super chat?
Or every $5 every $5 super chat is a shot today, and so this is another one for Tom.
There we go. Oh, I left off, never mind, scratch my Mount Rushmore. I left off one of the most quintessential parts of my breakfast. One of my favorite things about breakfast, a bagel and lox. Some bagel, cream cheese, lox, some red onion, cucumber.
What are lox?
Oh, you've never had lox?
No.
It's smoked salmon.
Okay.
And I usually like a toasted sesame bagel, some vegetable schmear, which is just like a veggie cream cheese, some lox, maybe some red onion, a little bit of cucumber on top of that piece.
Okay.
Potato pancakes and applesauce. You talking about Lockies? Love me some Lockies.
We have one more segment to get to, but let's get to 100 likes. We're 9 away. When we get to 100, then we will start our final segment and get out of here today. And I did 3 shots, $5 for every shot. It's a deal that we're offering today. So
a little flash sale.
A little flash sale. Thought of it in the moment. So whatever you guys have on that note. So our question today, we're asking, National Waffle Day, what's the best breakfast spot that fat rat was telling me that his mom's house. My mom makes great breakfast food. My dad also makes good breakfast
Better cook, mom or dad.
Just depends.
You got to choose one. You can only have one of their cooking for the rest of their life. You can only another shot if we get 100 likes, maybe. Yeah, Tyler's down.
$5 and
or 100 likes.
Or 100 likes. We'll do another shot.
But if you could only choose one to cook for the rest of your life, you can only have one of them cook. Your mom or your dad.
I hope mom's not watching right now. But I would go dad because my dad can grill and all that. My mom doesn't grill that much.
Hot seat Tyler's mom.
And my mom and dad both watch a lot. So
oh, wow.
I would choose dad if I had to choose between one or the other for the rest of my life. What about you? You're on the hot seat. Mom or dad?
You're breaking your mom's heart right now.
I know. How about you, mom or dad?
I don't have to choose. Only got one right now. My mom.
Okay.
So it's my mom.
Okay. What about mom or fiance?
Don't do that to me, Tyler.
That tells me the answer right there.
Don't you do that to me, Tyler.
That tells me, because if you were I would think as a fiance you've already made that choice. But the fact that you've made this a question that you had to think about, that kind of tells me your answer.
No, I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I'd go with my fiance.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, she's a better cook than my mom.
So you were just building up the moment.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to break mom's heart, but no.
We are 4 likes away from 100 likes on today's show. Hit that like button, and we'll get started with the final segment. Also, I'm offering a deal. Whatever happens first, $5 super chat or 100 likes, I will take another shot at Jack Daniels. Third one in, so we're already feeling good. Let's see. Dude Man says, I want to see Papa Tyler stumbling. Well, buy me some shots. Fun P says, did someone say shots? Yeah, we did.
2 more likes.
Let's see. Douglas says, wow. They got you drunk again. No.
There we go. 100
right.
likes.
100 likes, 1 more shot, then we'll start the final segment for today's show.
Alrighty.
Jack Daniels is the drink of choice today.
Jack Daniels sauce.
Usually I like to have this with Coke, but you know what? We'll make do. No Coke today. We're drinking this like men.
Like manly men.
Men. 2.5 Men. Did you like 2.5 Men?
Oh, of course.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right. Straight into the cut, Tyler. You ready?
All right. Here we go. Final segment. Let's ride. Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we will preview the Seahawks' final preseason game of 2022 as they take on the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of questions when it comes to that quarterback position. Will the starting quarterback be named? Will it be figured out after this game? We'll discuss all that and more in one moment. Before we do, we are in the midst of a like battle with the Cowboys report. Taking on the Cowboys this week. We got to beat Tom Downey and the gang over there, right? We are, for this week, at 1,300 likes. The Cowboys report's at 1,600. So we got some catching up to do. We got to catch up to the guys. So like today's video so we can keep pace with the Cowboys report, and we'll get started with today's show. So what I'm watching for in this final preseason game of the 2022 season, the running back concerns for Seattle. They're there when you look at this situation. Kenneth Walker III looks like it. He's not going to play. Pete Carroll is hopeful that Kenneth Walker III will be ready for week 1, but says there's no timetable for his return. So that's not great for the rookie running back, that the way things are laying out. Remember, what we heard when he got hurt initially was, he'll be back for week 1. And now the doctors have said, hold up a bit. There's no timetable yet. And already had the issues with Rashad Penny. It looks like he's fine, but we'll see. Kind of playing the waiting game of sorts if he's going to be back week 1 at 100%. So that leaves the Seahawks running back room as this right now. Penny, Walker, and Travis Homer, as well as DJ Dallas in that backfield for Seattle. And in particular, DJ Dallas is who I want to talk about here. DJ Dallas could be Seattle's third down running back. What we saw from him against the Bears was really good. 4 catches, 52 yards against the Steelers, had 10 carries, 73 yards, and also had a touchdown catch in that game against Pittsburgh. He has been really solid, and he has answered the call for Seattle. I like what I've seen from DJ Dallas, and so that makes me ease the concerns from what DJ Dallas as well as what Travis Homer have done here. There's no need to rush Kenneth Walker the third back, and Rashad Penny, make sure that he's 100% and don't overwork him either. It is a balancing act of some sort. So the Seahawks running back room, a year removed without, Chris Carson. I say year removed, first year without Chris Carson. This group, I think, is going to be just fine, that they can overcome these issues they've already dealt with. How concerned are you about the Seahawks running backs at this point? Scale it for me 1 to 10. Put a number on it where your concern is for the Seahawks running backs. This is our pinned comment, and you might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. While the ads play, get your votes in. Scale it 1 through 10, how concerned you are about the Seahawks running backs. I'm also watching for the opportunity that is in front of Drew Lock here. Now, is it an ideal opportunity for Drew Lock? No, he's not starting, but he's expected to play the majority of the game on Friday against the Dallas Cowboys. And so I would think that the way things start is Drew Lock ends up coming in and gets to play some with the ones. Geno Smith will start with the ones. But then from there on out, if you're Drew Lock, I think you got to take chances. You got to be a gamer and just unleash and see what happens. The last time both these guys were on the field together, Drew Lock had a solid night. 11 of 15, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith was pretty good too. 10 of 15, 101 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. So, can Drew Lock stand out enough to do better than Geno Smith to earn this starting job? He's got to play from behind, essentially, as this has not been a fair competition. He's got to really ball out in this game against Dallas if he wants to win that starting job. If you think Lock will play well, if he will answer the call and potentially win this starting job, type 2 in the comments section. Show some love for Drew Lock. Type his jersey number 2 if you think that he will play well. Today's show is presented by BetUS, and BetUS is offering quite a deal right now, folks. A 125% deposit bonus when you use the promo code Seahawks125 at checkout. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, then this deal is available to you just for Seahawks Today viewers with that promo code Seahawks125 and a 125% deposit bonus. So you may be asking, what does that all mean, Tyler? Well, let's say that you bought a pizza and then you were given another pizza for free and then a slice of another pizza for free. That's what we're offering here with BetUS. Sign up now, chatsports.com. You can bet on this game against the Cowboys as well. Chatsports.com/bet, 125% deposit bonus with promo code Seahawks125. Also, what to watch for, Dee Eskridge, his preseason debut. Somebody that we have not seen a whole lot of since he became a member of the Seattle Seahawks. Missed the first 2 preseason games with an injury. And now he has returned to practice this week after dealing with that hamstring. Played in 10 games as a rookie in 2021. Only had 10 catches, though. And he spent part of 2021 on IR with a concussion. So, with that, what are we going to see from Dee Eskridge? I don't really know. Just because we have not seen a whole lot of him in this last year or so that he's been in Seattle, there's just not a whole lot of tape there to measure on with Dee Eskridge. It's the great unknown of what exactly he's going to bring to the table. But nonetheless, it'll be fascinating to see how that unfolds for Dee Eskridge. Now, the rest of the wide receiver room, you also have Marquise Goodwin battling for a roster spot. And then Freddie Swain, what does he have to bring to the table? Once you get past your top 2 receivers of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, it's anyone's guess who's going to make this final roster. It is a wide-open contest, and that wide receiver room, very competitive for those final roster spots. And I love the rookies as well. Bo Melton, Young, those guys, what can they do to make a statement that they belong on the active roster as opposed to the practice squad? Also looking out for the rookie cornerbacks. We've talked about them a lot on this channel over the last couple of months, how much they impressed in OTAs and minicamp, but then that first preseason game against the Steelers did not work out pretty well for them. They did bounce back last week against Chicago. Here is the Seahawks cornerback depth chart right now. You can see that they are behind Sidney Jones and Artie Burns, but still have a chance to potentially be the starting cornerbacks for Seattle, that they could be the outside corners, that it's not out of question, especially with Trey Brown on the PUP list for the Seahawks at this point. So we'll see if they can take advantage of that opportunity and what they do for an encore after both of them played really well against Chicago last week. More on that in just a second. We want you to subscribe to Seahawks Today. Here on the channel, we're bringing you nonstop Seattle Seahawks coverage each and every day. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV is the link. And we got a watch party coming up on Friday with the matchup with the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific with a little pregame show. We'll be reacting to the game in real time, answering your questions, having a few drinks in hand, and then we'll do our live postgame show afterwards as well. Seahawks Watch Party right here on Seahawks Today, Friday, 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific. So here's the numbers I was talking about Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen. As you can see, this is according to Pro Football Focus. The numbers for both of them against Pittsburgh were bad. Woolen with a 35.6 defensive rating. Bryant with a 47.5. But look what they did to step up against the Bears. Woolen at 76.1, and then Bryant against Chicago, 72.6. Both those guys took drastic steps the right direction. I'm very excited about both these guys. Hopefully that game against Pittsburgh, they just got the nerves out of them, and we see the versions that they brought against Chicago going forward. We'll see. Who has a bigger year? Is it Kobe Bryant? Is it Tariq Woolen? Which day 3 cornerback selection will step up and have a bigger year for the Seahawks? Is it Kobe Bryant? Type CB. If it's Tariq Woolen, type TW. Let me know in the comments section below. Last but not least, for those spots, he's a name to watch for this Seattle Seahawks team, if he'll make it or not. Signed by the Seahawks back in May. I'm intrigued to see what Goodwin does if he's going to be one of those guys. Another name I'm watching for is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the newest member of the Seattle Seahawks. Will he play tight end? Will he play wide receiver? Or will he even be there at all? That remains to be seen. Here was a guy that was picked in the same draft as DK Metcalf and has shown nothing as a player in the NFL, and quite frankly did not play good in that last preseason game either. Then there's L.J. Collier. I told you in our roster projection show, I think he's going to make the roster. This was a name that was brought up probably more than any other player this offseason as a trade or cut candidate, and here he is with what it looks like a pretty decent shot to make this roster the way things have worked out for him. Mike Jackson, he's looked really good in training camp, but is there a spot for him? Has he done enough? That remains to be seen. Then you look at Marquise Blair, can play corner, can play safety, provide some versatility. Do you choose Blair? Do you choose Jackson? That remains to be seen. We should have a lot of those questions figured out after Friday's preseason game against Dallas. Your turn to be the GM. Name a player who should make the final 53-man roster for the Seahawks. Let me know. Give me one name, whether it's somebody we mentioned or somebody we did not mention. Let me know in the comments section somebody you think should make the final roster for the Seattle Seahawks. So, before we go here, I believe in the time being that we had some super chats come in. Alan, $5 with LMH. Thank you, Alan, for that. So I will give you another shot. Let's see. Got another one here. Okay. Alan says, sorry, Mom, go Hawks. Well, Alan, go Hawks to you. Here is a shot. That's my fourth. We're running a sale right now. $5 for a shot. We're about to wrap up. We're almost done. But if you want me to stay and drink, we can do that. And then I believe we had another super chat, a $2 chat come in. Oh, that was the Allen one. Okay. Alan, thanks for that super chat, bringing us there. Quick tease coming up on next week. We'll do this again. We're doing these live shows every week. 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock out west is Seahawks Today. So if you liked what you saw today, we'll do it again next week. Don't worry about that. And then, of course, we're going to have our watch party coming up on Friday night as well. That'll get started about 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific. Chugs, it's been fun. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man. And you, the viewers, you Seahawk fans, we will see you again on Friday for the watch party.